SPY is now at 754. QQQ is looking like it wants to break above 742. There's a bit more room to go to the upside on both. All right. So basically there's still some room to the upside here, but generally we're showing weakness here on the SPY here at 754. The Nasdaq is also trying to inch up to above 742.30, maybe 743 area, but this is we're at major resistance here on the SPY, but this still has a bit more room to go higher. So we obviously are up a lot of money on the swings, right? Spectacular. We made money today. Congratulations, right? Over the weekend. But we don't want to start taking aggressive trades just because we are already green for the day. So we're going to basically go short soon on the Nasdaq based off of the pause that we're going to see. So generally the Nasdaq gets a pullback to around 740.50, 740.5. But now it's just a matter of timing it properly and sizing it properly. SPY is showing resistance and it's consolidating here at 754. And this is leading to a good opportunity to go short here on the Nasdaq as well. I have my eyes on June 18th, 741 QQQ puts. I have my eyes on them. I have not entered yet. I think it's worth entering a very small position here. 741 QQQ puts. If we can, yeah, I'm in very small position here. This is most likely going to make a new high day, but we have to enter here. Very small position. We have to do it. There's still a lot of room to the upside, but we don't want to miss this move to the downside if it does occur. And that's, just the unfortunate reality. There's clearly looks like it wants to bounce. So in this instance, we just have a nice small position, nice tight stop loss around 742.50. We got a further dated contract for a reason, nice and simple, very small position. It's June 18th. If it drops, it's going to drop and it's going to pay out very, very nicely. So the risk reward it's there, right? So we made a lot of money on the silver. We made a lot of money on IBIT and crypto and everything. Generally, we get a pullback to 740.5 at least. If it doesn't happen, that's life, man. What are you going to do? We have no news at 10 a.m. either. We're trying to hold 741. But this is a very, very disastrous time to try to be bullish or long. It makes sense to get a bit of a pullback here. And there's the pullback, right? Good trade, right? Good trade. There's 740.5. As expected. Have to sell some, leave runners. Basically now, as long as the contracts can remain above 710, that's when you want to remain in the trade. If it starts to break back above 710, then increasing the stop loss to 715, right? This was a big short to start the morning. We caught it very, very perfectly. We had to take it. There was clearly a lot of strength. We had to take this short. We went short into the highs. Very, very perfectly. Very, very perfectly. Fantastic move. Beautiful trade. Beautiful short. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing trade. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful trade. Monster move. Contracts are 770 plus. What a monster, amazing trade. 770 plus. Contracts are in the 780s right now. I obviously you're not holding a large position anymore. Now you're just holding on to runners. This was a big move lower. I want to see contracts and I want to see the QQQ essentially hold below 740.50. You could sell all here. This is it. Like, this was a good trade. If we start to see weakness here, we could go short again. But this is where, you don't want to hold. And that's that. Really nice and simple trade. Very, very good short. Still very, very difficult to be bullish here. Normally 70.51, 740.50 holds here, and we end up making a new low. But, there's extreme bullishness in the market today. So normal bearish setups might not work as phenomenally. That's the only reason why I sold here. Better safe than sorry. Normally, we fail here on this move, on this little bounce, because we're at the 50 to 618% fib area. Usually when you bounce back to this area, we get another pullback. But because today is so bullish, I don't want to be too bearish. It's not a normal bearish day. SPY, big, strong green candle. NASDAQ, big, strong green candle. It looks like we sold at the best opportunity as well. But this sort of topping formation is not that bullish. It's going to end up giving another good opportunity to short soon. But going long is a bit risky. Going long here is a bit risky. Clearly, they're trying their best to show a bearish picture. Over here right now, the market is quite 50-50. I have my eyes on puts again for June 18th. QQQ, June 18th puts. I have my eyes. Uh, I'm looking at June 22nd. QQQ puts. June 22nd. All right, I'm in June 22nd. QQQ 740 puts. This should be good also. If not, we got June 22nd. Further than the first one. If there's going to be some buying pressure, then that's completely fine. Instead of taking June 18th, which is a bit more risky, closer dated, I got into the June 22nd. 7-day to expiration, nice and safe. If it wants to bounce, that's fine. This is a good trade nonetheless. We have to take it. And that's completely okay. The only thing that is going to prevent this from dropping is the extreme buying pressure that we have today. Okay? But from a technical standpoint, this is a good short. The SPY is breaking below support. The NASDAQ held at the 618% fib of resistance, and it showed constant weakness at 741.20. It's almost a picture perfect, almost too good to be true to go short. But unfortunately, right, we have to take it. Generally, this should comfortably hold and break below 739.50. Zero DTEs probably paid out way better on both of these trades. Of course, you know. So whoever's taking the zero DTEs, please be very, very cognizant because my stop loss is much more loose than I normally would. Right? My stop loss on this is going to be around 741.20 because I'm anticipating strength, right? So just be very, very careful. If I enter June 22nd or June 18th put, it's because I have a looser stop loss. But, you know, my direction is there. It's just a matter of risk management and being safe. So we're seeing the strength try to hold, right? But that is another reason why I took further dated, nice and safer contracts. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, that's completely fine. This was a very, very good start to the week. Very, very amazing start to the week. SPY is continuing to hold below 753.40. And, you know, we'll sell this if it breaks to the upside. But I'm glad we didn't take anything closer dated because the market was at a very, very important inflection point. We caught IBIT over the weekend. We caught silver over the weekend. whoever's still long on the overall market, NASDAQ, etc. All of this was a monster win over the weekend. So much weakness, we had to go long. And we started the morning off going short at the high of day. Beautiful trade. SPY's breaking below. If the QQQ can remain below 740.30, this is going to be a big capitulation down to at least 738. But let's see what happens. No guarantees. Very strong day today. Normal bearish setups are not always going to work on extremely bullish days, okay? But when they show up, you have to take them. QQQ is up 2.6% for the day. And let's see. Let's see if we get a nice little sharp pullback. Everyone should be green on the contracts, but that's not what we want. We want a bigger flush below 739 at least. 739. Chop, chop. Big drop. I don't like this, how we dropped very aggressively. The contracts were up very big, and now we had a big bounce. This is not the most bullish scenario here, guys. We had a nice big pullback. Had to be quick on the take profit. But now, you know, they're really trying to show some bullish momentum. They really don't want the market to drop. This is still not an amazing long opportunity because the market is still trading within its range. The SPY is still trading below 753.50. But it's just unfortunate that we had a big, you know, like $1.50 bounce in a candle. But, you know, we're just going to continue to let this trade play out. Everything is still pointed to a move lower. It's very difficult to be bullish here and to buy a dip. You would have to be a complete you would have to be a bad trader to go long here. All right. If the market does bounce, it's not because of your technical analysis. It's not a good long opportunity to go longer. It's still an amazing short. The only reason why it's still holding is because the market is up almost 3%. So there's a lot of buyers. But normally, 9 times out of 10, this drops very aggressively. The contracts are green. We're still green on this trade. You could exit and it would be a green trade, but I want to now see a quick move lower. We're still holding below 740, 740.50 on the QQQ, 735.50 on the SPY. Still holding the puts, not going anywhere. We have to remember why we took further dated contracts to begin with. This is because 741.20, 741.50 area is a major level of resistance. As long as we remain below that, then this is a bearish setup. We went short at the high of the day perfectly. This is still normally holding on to runner's territory. So simply what we did was we just went re-short at the 50 to 618% fib. So if the market continues to move this well on a technical standpoint to the downside, then our 7-day to expiration contracts are going to be really, really good. And if not, this is a trade. We have to take it. Unfortunately, you know, it's not just automatically. It did actually automatically go in our favor. The contract shot up very, very aggressively, and the market dropped very aggressively. But we have to let the market play out. We have to let the market play out. It's not going to always be extremely comfortable, but what can we control? We can control our position size, and we can control our expiration date. If we were in a 0 DTE, this would be very, very uncomfortable. But what did we do? 7-day to expiration. Very nice. This doesn't mean anything, okay? Do not go short right now. If it's going to drop, let it drop. Do not chase anything. Because if it does bounce, it's going to bounce very aggressively. Okay, so just be very careful. Please be very, very careful. We're seeing some weakness. Congratulations. Awesome. Let it play out. Do not be manipulated by price action today, okay? Do not be emotionally driven in your trading today. If it wants to drop, let it drop. But what we do know is going long here makes no sense. Bang! Selling most here. Selling most here. What a monster. What a monster trade. If the contracts can remain above $9, then you could hold runners, and essentially we need to remain below 740. I don't really think that occurs, but if we can hold below 740, then the market is going to continue to move lower. But the thing is, guys, we're in a range. They're really, really trying to hold and bounce. So yeah, that's it. Good trade. Still has a lot of room to go lower, man. That's the problem. I'm oof. I'm about to buy again. Very small position with 740.50 stop loss because I still think there's more room to go lower and I don't want to miss out. So let's see. I'm going to let you guys know. I have my eyes on June 22nd, 740 puts again for about 50, 60 stop loss. Okay. Very small position. There's a lot of room lower, bro. This is very, very weak. But the market can bounce very aggressively. That's the problem. Okay, I'm in very, very small position. Have to take it. 740 puts again. Very small position. 740, 50-ish, 740, 60-ish area of stop loss. Okay? And that's that. Have to take it. I'm very, very sorry. If this loses, that's okay. But this is when, we're clearly showing some cracks in the armor. If we miss out, $20, $30 a contract, oh well. Very small position it should be. Both of the shorts today that we took worked out phenomenally. If the technical setups continue to work, then we're not going to break above 740, 70, 740, 80. So that's essentially going to be the level for me on the QQQ. It's going to coincide with the SPY here at 753.40 because the SPY is showing clear weakness at resistance. The NASDAQ is as well. But that's life. Let's see what happens here. All right. Let's see what happens here. There's a lot of room lower, man. You still don't want to be bullish here. No sound. Okay, guys. I just refreshed it. Can you guys hear me again? I hope you guys could hear me, but yeah, so essentially I am in another very, very light position. Very, very light QQQ put position here. I want to see 740.80 basically hold. This is the first two shorts worked out phenomenally. Right? This is very risky because we're chasing, but there's a lot of room to the downside. Had to take it, unfortunately, and I'm willing to play around with some of the profits. All right. 740.80 is holding as resistance. If we break above that, then I will sell. This was a very, very strong push. The only reason why this sort of push to the upside occurred is because we have so much strength for the day. And that's okay. SLV over the weekend up 6%. IBIT over the weekend up 6%. Both of these trades this morning worked out phenomenally. Now let's see if this continues. All right, let's see. This is a very major level of resistance here. This is it. If the market's going to drop, it's off of this 741.20 area, and that is going to be it for this move lower. If it breaks above, then we're most likely going to see another high day. But right now, this bear flag, this failure at the 50% and the 618% fib, on the day so far, this is it. Like, we're gonna have to see now if we can remain below, because we just bounced. They tried to hold this market out of extreme weakness, because if they dropped the market when we were short, right, and when we were holding on to our full size, we would have seen 737, 735. A lot of this move to the upside would have been given back. So they had to hold it at 739 on the QQQ when they bounced it. Because if they didn't, then there was going to be a big, big pullback. A lot of the gains would have been given away, and a lot of profit taking would have began. So very simple. Let's see if this holds here. You don't want to be bullish here. Even if we do make another high, it's very, very difficult to be bullish in this range while the market is topping out, trying to top out. Generally, we get another leg lower, and we should be seeing 737 normally. This should normally be like about 150 point drop on the NQ here. It doesn't get much better than this. If there's going to be a nice pullback, it has to be off of this setup. Do not start going short into this weakness. They're going to chop it around, and then they could rip it right back up. You don't want to go short when the market is starting to show weakness. Okay? Because they could still easily bounce this back up. QQQ can go back up to 741.20. This doesn't mean anything. So just be very careful about trying to go short into weakness. Okay? As you can see, big bounce. So that's why we cannot get manipulated by price action. What we do is simply go short into strength. All right. The overall trajectory is down, right? But if you went short into that weakness, you're already $1.50 in the red on the QQQ, right? So it's much harder to remain bearish when automatically within a minute the trade goes against you. So it's very, very important to control when you're entering. They do not want average retail traders to capture the move. So they will show strength, they will bounce it. When the majority of people think it's going to drop, if we also think it's going to drop, right? What happens normally right afterward? We get a big rip, big bounce to the upside. Because they understand when the majority of retail traders are going to enter a trade. But we have to think a couple of steps ahead, all right? Very simple. You want to go short into resistance, into strength, and you want to go long into weakness, into support. But on a setup like this right now, even though we're holding support, I'm still bearish. So let's see how this plays out. Both of our shorts worked out very, very well today. From purely technical standpoint, we shorted the high of the day, then we shorted again afterward. We're in another short right now. Can't do much about it. We're just taking the highest quality trade decision that we can take and letting the chips fall where they may. See, if you have shorted the strength, you'd be green on the trade. So now we just have to wait. The market can go in either direction. We just have to wait. This is still a very high quality trade. It is what it is. Now we just have to see which direction the market wants to go. Nice and simple. Market oftentimes tends to chop around as well after a big move to the upside. It doesn't get much better than this though. So we shorted the highs, then we shorted again on the bounce back. Right? Shorted, and now we're still bearish. And yeah, now we just wait for the market to even itself out, see which way it wants to go. going long here is extremely aggressive. It does not, you know, we could bounce by all means, but from a technical standpoint, what's been working so well today has been going short into this strength. The SPY is continuing to hold below levels of resistance. So is the QQQ, right? We made, we started the day off very green because all of our swing trades up huge. So we needed to be patient in terms of where our trade was going to come from. So simply we waited for a nice bounce into the highs in around 9:50 a.m. And then we went short into that strength. And now, there's still more weakness to go to the downside. So nothing really, new here. We're trading within a range. 741.20-ish on the QQQ needs to hold. Essentially 30,775 on the NQ. And the downward target would be like 737. 737.50. So around 30,645, 650. So essentially, yeah, there's nothing really to do here. A trade is a trade, man. You have to let it play out. Once again, we took further dated contracts as a way to be safer, right? So there would be a completely different stop loss, a completely different strategy if we were trading 0 DTE, same day expiration contract on this trade. But because we took 7-day expiration contracts as a way to be safe, you can't be afraid on bounces. Okay? You can't be afraid when the trade goes against you a little bit. You have to let the market even itself out. If the trade fails, let it fail. Not every trade is going to work. But the worst feeling is when you're correct about a decision, when you're correct about a direction, and you sell because you're afraid, because of a little bounce, and then it ends up going in your favor. So just be patient. Let's see the way the market wants to go. We've been correct so far on all of our trades. The direction, the momentum has been working out very well technically. Normally, it should continue to drop. Oh, yeah, that's happened way too often, Hamid, but I'm getting better. Nice. Yeah, we just have to control what we can control. We can control our position size, and we can control our position size and our expiration date, etc. Mostly because I'm not caring as much about the losses. No, we have to care about the losses. You can't take this maybe for granted. Maybe you're not taking it for granted, but you have to learn from the losses. Hmm. course, I mean, I'm not being afraid, or I don't know how to say, but I'm taking them as an example to learn from. Oh, you mean like it's not a huge deal that you're losing? Like it doesn't pain you, right? Is that what you mean? Yeah, okay, okay. That makes sense. That's good. That is very, very important. You have to detach yourself from the outcome. Yeah, exactly. Nice. You lose and you move on. Perfect. I got 200. Oh, sorry. When retail loses, Kramer and Thieves gain. Banks always win. Let's go. Yeah, thankfully it did start to move lower, Chris. But I got 200 bucks left of my 400 for the day to go all in on your next trade. Be careful, man. Be careful. Surprised we didn't push all-time high, Travis. Yeah, it should occur in the next couple of days, most likely. Seven Sisters. Hi, how are you? This is so annoying. Can it drop fully? Yeah. Short into strength, letting the Greeks work on 0 DTE chop. Yeah, essentially that's what's going on. That's another reason why I didn't want to enter into 0 DTE. On huge, big moves like this to the upside overnight, or huge moves to the downside overnight, there's almost always a chop. So trying to trade aggressively during a chop with same day expiration contracts, very, very risky. I won with your last trade. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Thank God. TSM Mark. Thank you for the follow. Gamma levels for 0 DTE on SPX. $75.50 is very important. Yeah, that's going to be a major support, and 7,600 is also a major important level as well. Yep. 75.50. Yep, yep, yep. But in general, it's just very, very difficult to be bullish here, right? Like the momentum is clearly trying to shift down, but they are trying their best. They're really, really trying their best to hold the market up here, because if they don't, basically, if the market starts to drop here, then it's going to be a very big drop. And essentially, they want to keep the market bullish as a political incentive as well. The market is bullish today because primarily of the positive Trump news. All right, he said that they're coming to a deal. That is not, like, every time he said that, that's never really been the case. Either Iran has rescinded or there hasn't really been clear verification. So as an extra added importance to that news, they're going to really, really try to keep this market afloat for the day. But so far, all of the shorts that we took have worked out really, really phenomenally. Our IBIT, our silver, gold swings are up huge as well. And thank God things are working out really well. We held 741.20 as resistance as well. There's not really much else that we can do except let the market chop around and make a decision. The SPY is starting to show a lot of strength. This strength in the SPY can help pull the NASDAQ up. So let's see what happens here. They are really, really trying to hold us up. So let's see if they can or not. We shorted the highs. We shorted the pop. There's not really much else to do except just wait. You mean resist box 9 p.m. said about deal coming on Friday? Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Yeah. This time they both agreed. It's supposed to be signed in Switzerland June 19th. Hoping they don't F it up. Well, during this time, I'm expecting, you know, hold on. Okay, so the SPY had a big pullback here. The Nasdaq is trading below 740.50. This looks like it wants to bounce. It looks like it wants to bounce here. But it is what it is. We can't do anything about it. Let this play out the way it wants to. Strength in the SPY is helping pull the Nasdaq up here. If this breaks above 741.50-ish on the Nasdaq, then we could see 744. And then basically we should be making another. We should be very close to high of day. Sorry, all-time high today. If we can break above 741.50, that would essentially be a break above on the NQ. It should be a break above like 30,780. And the SPY, if it can, the SPY is now starting to show some strength as well, which is helping pull the Nasdaq up out of support. So the SPY, if it can hold and break above 754.20, 754.50, then we should maybe, yeah, we should most likely see 756, 756.50, and then at that point 757 is right around the corner. So let's see. SPY is almost at high of day. I'd be very surprised if the SPY does not break above high of day. And if the SPY does break high of day, which it should, the Nasdaq should break higher here as well. Normally, that's what usually occurs. I would be very surprised. I'd be very, very surprised if that doesn't occur here. If that occurs and it does break, then I'm going to sell. We're right at a very important inflection point for this chop. And right at that level of resistance, right as we, wow, this is brutal. Can you imagine how many people became bullish here? And then they dropped it right afterward? This is, you know, This is going to be very, very abnormal. If this doesn't break, this is because normally this rips to the upside. Normally this usually always rips to the upside. I'd be very, very shocked if it doesn't. It would really tell a lot about how how weak this move can occur to the downside. This is just yeah, you know, if this fails here and we don't make another high, and if the SPY fails at high of day, this is really, really, this would be very bearish. There's most likely going to be a big pullback later in the day. Maybe after like 1 or 2 p.m. Kind of crazy. Normally, we really, really rip to the upside. Okay, that makes sense. It's ripping. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, that's good. Okay, good, good, good. That makes sense. It had to bounce. There was too much strength. Everything was pointed to a big rip to the upside, as expected. So the market is moving normally. That's good. We took a very long time to hold and break below this um range, and that's that. So now we're not holding anything, and now we just wait. So I was expecting a big bounce. We got the big bounce. The SPY was showing a lot of strength. The Nasdaq was also showing a lot of strength. So we had to have a nice tight stop loss. And now we wait. SPY new high of day. Yeah, so far our IBIT swings, SLV swings over the weekend worked out phenomenally. Then we went short at the high of day. Then we went short again on the bounce. Then we went short again. It was profitable. But this last short that we took was obviously the most risky and the loosest sort of trade and lightest sort of trade. But overall, the weakness was clearly there, you know. But just going long up here, really, you know, it was very, very risky to go long up here. Unless you went long exactly when I said we were going to essentially bounce. Until that point, maybe a couple minutes ago, if you were long, it was not a good trade from a technical standpoint. It's okay. A trade is a trade. Got to take it. Nasdaq is up huge for the day. IBIT swings keep or selling. No, you have to sell at least half. IBIT and silver are up over 50%. All right, now we just wait. We don't want to be a buyer into extreme strength here. If the Nasdaq can hold above the 741.20-ish area, then this is gonna continue to break into new highs. The SPY is also trying to hold 754. This is actually a very tight long. This is a decent long for a good risk reward to the upside, actually. But I okay. So we made a lot of money over the weekend. We made a lot of money shorting these highs. Damn, this is a good long. This is a decent long, even if this... damn. We might miss this long. This is a good risk reward. There's a lot of room to the upside still. A lot of explosive potential. I'm not going to take it most likely. I would rather just miss out on this. That's okay. That's life. That's life. This, ooh, it could work out really well. This could really explode to the upside here. Essentially where we had the stop loss, right? At around 741.20. If you have that as a stop loss for your longs now, this would be a good trade. But I don't want to force anything. That's the thing. We made money. We're green. There's no reason to reach. So if this plays out, let it play out. I'm okay with missing out. There's more trades to occur. They're painting a very, very bullish picture, you know? But I don't want to take it. That's the thing. I don't want to be too exuberant. Very difficult to be bearish here. It makes almost no sense to really be bearish. There's a lot of bullish potential here. These are good dip buying opportunities as long as the NQ can essentially hold above 3770, and if the QQQ can hold above 741.20. So these are good. This is good bullishness. There should be a big rip. QQQ should definitely see above 743 soon. The SPY is tapping 745. I was okay with missing this. I'm completely fine with missing this long. If it goes without us, then, it'll go without me. That's okay. Hmm. This should continue to rip. I'm surprised that. Mm, yeah, just whatever you do right now, do not enter short. If there's a good reason to go short, we'll enter short. But all of these dips, all of the weakness that we might have right now, if the QQQ even drops back down $1, or if the SPY drops back down to 754, these are good buying opportunities in my opinion. So let's see. Normally, this should continue to rally. Okay. Do you think tomorrow will be a healthy pullback, plus beater or higher? It's tough to say right now. It depends on how we close, and it depends on afternoon price action heading into um power hour, because we could end up getting a strong pullback into afternoon. That would be the healthy pullback, and then we could end up just continuing to bounce tomorrow. So it's up in the air. We have to play it touch and feel. Apple is causing the uncertainty, in my opinion. How so? Yeah, these are not shorting opportunities. They're gonna just continue to show some weakness, but there's a lot of room to the upside, guys. Lots of room. Very, very aggressive to be bearish. Unless we start breaking below levels of support, that's the only real reason to become extremely bearish. Oh, that was from earlier because it was pumping while QQ was chopping. Oh, got it, got it. Okay. Uh, no, I don't. I have an app for psychology. Interesting situation here. Interesting situation here. 755 is acting as resistance on the SPY. 742.70 is acting as resistance on the NASDAQ. Interesting situation here. Hmm. Yeah, this is not what bulls wanted to see. We're back to 742.20, which was the initial point where this bull move occurred. So we wicked off of 742.20. And now we need to see if the move to the upside can continue here. But this was a big, strong weakness, big pullback at the highs, right back to the level of support. That was the initial reason for this move to the upside. This is because you have to realize the amount of people that became extremely bullish up here obviously looked very, very bullish as well. This is really, this is still a very bullish scenario here. Going short is very risky, actually. So I would be very surprised if they drop it here. Let's see if this doesn't break and hold above 742.60 soon. And this doesn't look good for bulls, but it should be continuing to bounce. Here's 742.60. Let's see if it could break above. This is like the main area here for bears. It wicked off of major support. Once we broke above 742, it led to buying pressure. But we just wicked down and we touched that level of support again, which is not the best sign for bulls, unfortunately, because they don't want, if you're a bull, you don't even want to get close to support. You want to create new levels of support and bottom out before you even touch. This is interesting, right? So, for example, if we have strong support at 740 and we bounce to 743, you want to see support hold at like 742, 741 for a continued strong move to the upside. You don't want to see a retest of 740 for a continued move to the upside. So us bouncing here is basically not the most bullish scenario. Obviously, support held, but you don't always want to see a support level being touched. And that is why we're starting to see some weakness here at the highs. Going short here is really aggressive and a bit risky. But this is where a short would normally work because, you know, we're chopping around at levels of resistance. Normally, we do get a bit of a pullback here. We should see 741.60. This is actually starting to become a good short. Let's see. Let's see. I have my eyes on QQQ puts here. Haven't entered yet. I have my eyes on them. And most likely we're going to I have my eyes on June 22nd puts. Have not entered yet. Normally we should see a bounce to 743. 743.40 before we get a pullback. But the fact that this is showing weakness here is the only reason why I am looking at puts. Because in case we don't get there, which is the higher quality target to the upside, that is the level that normally would be a good short. If we don't get up to that level, I don't want to miss out on a short from here. So in this instance, you know, what can we do then? Are we going to be aggressive on a short here into this extreme strength? No. The only thing that we could do is take a small position size and get further dated puts. because we know that we're trading against the momentum. We know that this is a risky trade. So what can we control? We obviously don't want to give up our profits for the day. And we also, don't want to lose and take a high quality, like a high risk trade with high leverage and shorter dated contract. Okay, thankfully we didn't go short. And the strength continued to hold. Still all eyes on bullishness. Let's see if we can see 743.50 soon. This is like massive, massive strength. We should normally tap 755.50-ish on the SPY, and we should be seeing 743.40-ish, at least on the QQQ. This should break above this high normally. This should break a bit higher here. This should still be moving higher. Very difficult to still be very difficult to be bearish here. Normally we still get a big rip to the upside. There's still a lot of strength here. Normally we should see 743.50-ish on the QQQ. We're seeing new like higher lows on the SPY. There's still a lot of strength on the SPY still. And there's a big move on the QQQ here. Should be bouncing higher. We're right at resistance here on the QQQ. The SPY made a new high of day. We've got room to 755.70 on the SPY. This is a good short. All right. That's great. This is a good short. Damn, bro. I'm in QQQ 743 June 22nd puts. It's gonna be a light trade. It's gonna be a light trade, light stop loss. The overall market still looks very, very bullish. There's just gonna be two main instances where we're going to be taking trades. Here for essentially a high of day stop loss. Let me type this 1 second. This already started to drop very heavily. We had to take it. This is if we can remain below 742.70, this is gonna see 741. If this holds 742.30 here, I don't really think it will. Then bro, I knew that was an amazing short, man. As soon as I said this is a good short, we dropped, I don't even know, $1. But let's see if the momentum continues to permeate a bit here to the downside. I do think it should. So let's see. Selling most here. Selling most, selling most, selling most, selling most. And yeah, man, honestly, this was a big, nice little scalp. We're chasing this weakness. There's a lot of nice movement that we're getting out of the market today, man. That's it. Just don't hold anymore. That's that. Good little trade to the downside. Just really, really weird price action. But that's that, you know. Did a 0 DTE, 10%. Nice. Okay. Ooh, this is still a bullish market. But I don't really want to be aggressively bullish into these levels of support. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look for shorts on these bounces. All right. So there's 2 or 3 more trades that I'm going to take to this move to the upside. We're going to be shorting on a bounce or high day stop loss. Okay, that's number 1. If that gets stopped out, 1 second. Let's see. All right, that was a big bounce. Hmm. Okay, so I'm willing to lose money on these next couple of trades. Okay. I'm in QQQ puts for June 22nd again. High of day stop loss. Very tight trade. If this fails, then it can get a very strong move to the upside to 744 on the QQQ and 756 on the SPY, essentially. Very nice light trade here on a strong bounce, but this is a top, like this is the formation of a potential top. If we're wrong, that's completely okay. But we don't want to miss out on a big move to the downside. So in that instance, we take a nice tight stop loss. You have to be okay with missing out on you have to be okay with losing money when it comes to trading. So I really like this trade. There's a big risk reward to the downside as well. This is a pretty very tight trade actually. So if this doesn't work out, you know, that's life. What are you going to do? Be afraid? No. Even if we're targeting the recent low that we just had here at 741 742, it's almost a 3-to-1 risk reward. So that's okay. You know, if it rips above high of day, we're out. But I definitely don't want to start being bullish here. All right, that's the main thing. It's way more comfortable to be bearish. Way more comfortable to be bearish into these moves to the upside, into strength here. Definitely way more comfortable to be bearish. Can you guys hear me on voice? Like, do you guys hear these trades that I'm taking? Nice. Okay, nice scalp. Perfect. Yes. All right. All right, perfect. All right. I mean, that's it. Now we just wait. There's two main trades that I'm essentially waiting for. You know, not waiting for. Either this one breaks high of day and we sell, and then we wait for the complete overextension to the upside at around 744, 744.50 on the QQQ, and we'll short again. But these are not, it's not really that enticing to start going long here. Every single time we catch a high of day, the setup has looked exactly like this. It's looked super bullish. Every single time, you would always think, why the hell is this guy going short here? It makes no sense. And that's the sort of environment that gives a high of day when the majority of people are extremely bullish because it looks clearly strong, clearly bullish. Those oftentimes give you the huge $5-6 moves to the downside. So I don't want to miss out on that. If we're going to get stopped out for whatever tight stop loss, I'll always do that. $755.50 on the SPY, QQQ 743.30 high of day as well. If it's gonna drop, I mean, like we shorted for a reason. So let's see. I'm comfortable holding puts here. Like this is a good quality trade. If it doesn't work, that's completely okay. If this was any other day, I would go so heavy on this short. I would be very, very heavy on this short. Any other day, I would be extremely, extremely heavy. Because the risk reward is super, super phenomenal. This is like a ridiculous, like 5-to-1 risk reward, 6-to-1. It could like really, really drop. But we wait. We don't want to be too exuberant. The market can do what the market wants to do. We have our levels, and that's that. We wait. Big bounce after some weakness. Right around the corner of getting stopped out, but this is such a tight trade. Like it's just such a tight, good risk reward to the downside. It would be very, very just negligent to not take it. SPY high of day. QQQ still hasn't closed above high of day, but obviously it looks like we're about to get stopped on this. Like, but regardless, it was like a very, very tight, good risk reward trade. All of this still looks, if things continue to slow down up here, all of this still looks like a really good short. It's a bit difficult to start leaning extremely bullish up here. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm out. Okay. Now we see if we can get a monster around 744.50. But every time we get a really nice 4 or 5 to 1 risk reward, we have to take it. And before I took this trade, I told you I was willing to lose. And yeah, now is getting to a point where this move to the upside is starting to become unsustainable. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if we filled the gap today, but it's definitely trying to. Mm-hmm. Mm. SPY is above 756. QQQ is holding 744 as resistance. This is a risky short. Momentum is still bullish. Let's see here. There's still room to go to 744.50. We're getting very close to a good high quality short very soon. So let's see. Once again, all of these are good shorting opportunities. The market is going to get, if it gets to 744.50, 745, those are still good opportunities to go short. If it drops, the downside target would be below 742. At this point, like if this minute it drops, then the target would be below 742. So that's why the risk reward is so enticing. So we're gonna continue to get good downside moves. It's just a matter of catching the top. All right, guys. You guys have been hearing my analysis. We're going to catch this top together in the Discord. So if you guys want access, go ahead and click the link in my bio. Make sure to follow me on this TikTok because I'm going to be going live every morning, continuing to go live in the mornings. But the next couple of trades, I'm only going to be sharing it in the Discord. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. And everyone on the live streams, I'm going to be sharing it only in the Discord. All right. So love you guys. We're going to catch this short together. So good luck. Take care.